at $15 an hour. But a jump in minimum wage has many New York business owners sounding the alarm.
Well, I'm very scared. I have to tell you that I think they're forcing us to become innovative. We're going to wind up automating more equipment and winding up with less employees. If you go into certain businesses now, you have self-serve cashiers or cash registers and kiosks, and that's what we're going to do.
So is higher minimum wages a revenue boost or a jobs killer? Joining us right now to talk more about it is Partnership for New York City CEO and President Kathy Wylde. Kathy, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Maria.
Where do you stand on $15 minimum wage?
Well, I think that the question of the minimum wage is one that the business community is struggling with because it's too simple a solution. For politicians at the state and local level, it's a lever they can pull. The failure of the federal government to raise the minimum wage since 2009, it's still at $7.25, is a significant frustration in terms of responding to all these constituents who are frustrated by income inequality, by wage stagnation. So there's a legitimate issue here, and it's one that Washington, like many others, is not dealing with. And as a result, you've had three cities, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, go for a $15 minimum wage. And now Governor Cuomo is becoming the first governor to bring a state minimum wage proposal in. He has appointed a wage board that tackled it just for the fast food industry. And, of course, this is a campaign that the Service Employees Union has been pushing, the SEIU, and he had them there to announce it with him. And he has had a wage board that has approved a $15 raise for fast food restaurants. And at that press conference last week, he announced a $15 wage proposal that he will bring to the state legislature in January for an across-the-board all industry.
A lot of people say that's ingenuous because we know that the legislature will not approve that.
Well, they have approved in the past. They have negotiated phased-in minimum wage increases and the governor provided that it would be a 3-year phase-in for New York City, a 5-year phase-in for New York State. So he's trying to balance that. But the point is, this is a 67% increase in our current minimum wage.
Yeah.
And it falls on a few industries. This is in New York City, only 7% of employees are paid minimum wage. It's a small number of our 4 million jobs. But the industries, the service industries, restaurants, hospitality, the food service industries are the ones that are impacted. So it's concentrated in a small area. And I don't know if you've gone to Home Depot or some of the fast food places lately. In Home Depot, I went recently, and there were 12 cashier spots, 1 cashier, 11 self-service.
Exactly. And that's what all the small business owners are telling us. They're going to go automate.
There's not, find me one business owner who likes this, but it's phasing things in as opposed to what in thermodynamics we'd call a phase transition. Doubling the minimum wage just doesn't work for jobs. I mean, how clear is that message to people? And do the politicians care? They won't be around when the jobs are gone anyway.
Well, it's falling on low-margin industries, so there's not a lot of room. And it is definitely going to accelerate the move to technology replacing people. It's projected that by 2025, 30% of our current jobs will be done by robots. Studies in the fast food industry, I was talking to an investor the other day who said that all their studies show that millennials would much rather buy on a tablet than from a human being. And so the transition, studies have shown in the past, they're controversial, but studies have shown that raising the minimum wage has long-term not cost jobs because people have more money in their pocket.
The problem, of course, is that they're all theories, right? I mean, it's also part of the socialist theory that you create a price floor or mandate certain wages. I mean, that's a socialist theory.
Yes, that's part of it, but it's also that the technological revolution have changed the rules of the game.
Do you believe that a minimum wage is necessary, first off?
Well,
it's a great question.
Necessary is a question. The living wage requirement is something like, in New York State, something like $12.75 to be able to afford to support yourself and your family in New York State. So certainly some raise in the minimum wage is appropriate. The question is, on the offset side, we also are the highest tax state. We have the most burdensome business regulatory environment. there should be a conversation both about improving the skills of workers, because most entry-level workers, non-English speaking, many undocumented, many having no skills whatsoever.
It's the question I was going to ask you. Who is getting the minimum wage? Is this students with no experience? Is this people actually who are leading families? I mean, what's the percent? What's the breakdown in terms of who's getting this minimum wage?
Well, all good questions. In the fast food industry, there was something like 60% of the workers they felt were heads of family, women or men heads of family. So it's not all young students. The entry-level workforce is varied. As I say, many non-English speaking people end up in, 40% of New York City residents are first-generation immigrants. Many are unskilled, non-high school graduates. We still have a 68% high school graduation rate. So we've got a lot of people who do not have skills. But these are the kind of complex problems, along with the impact of technology, that we've got to be dealing with. The simple lever, the easy fix that politicians want to run to in terms of raising the minimum wage to solve income inequality simply is not going to work.
So it sounds like it's a jobs killer, Kathy.
Well, I would say that it is not the solution that we're looking for. And for those industries that depend on entry-level unskilled workers, they're low-margin industries, and they are not going to be able to keep pace unless they get some relief on the other side, on the tax regulatory side, and some incentives for providing training for their workers.
Really an important subject. Kathy, we so appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kathy Wylde joining us here. We'll be right